So I have a friend that actually works in one of these places,
Yeah.
which I greet him, dude. What's up? It's a Yoshi. Okay, and he's one of the guys in and I know a bunch of doctors. They're friend of mine. The first thing that they tell us, dude, don't get out of your house. If you really
Wow.
don't have anything to do outside, please don't do it, man. I mean, I'm
So
serious.
that's your friend who is in the working in the hospital.
Yes.
So,
Fortunately,
yeah.
he
So
still doesn't. He doesn't
what does
have it.
he
He
what does he
doesn't
tell
present
you?
any.
What does he tell you? What kind, he means it like he's like giving you guys a strong warning, and you are the friends. It's like don't ever leave your house. Now, how did he communicate? How serious was he? And how is he as a person, as a medical staff? Was he in fear?
Um, Considering the personality of my friend, I would say that he was serious. I mean, I met him at high school.
Mm.
He one of the biggest party dudes you could ever find.
Wow.
Party crazy, party hard. We had some great parties together. He went to medical school. I went to study communications,
Yeah.
and I had a family.
Yeah.
And the minute this situation happened, all the doctors that I knew were completely locked down in the hospitals working, you know. And well, not as if they cannot go to the hospital, but they have to take a lot of precautions, like double or sometimes triple special suits, sanitization all the time.
Yeah.
When they approach the people infected, it was very hard to watch it because they were taking the cell phones to say, okay, this is how the hospital is working right now. Can you see it? There's a lot of people here. It's very dangerous. Please, this is not a joke.
Yeah. So I
This is
want
not
I
a
want
joke.
you to focus and describe a little bit more, because when I read the news about Mexico and countries in South America, it is like a horror movie. I mean, in the hospitals, it was in a horror movie, and it's not only that, but what's happening in Europe, what's happening in China. It's so fearful for the rest of the world who's on lockdown. You remember, it is you there, isolation in your house, but the rest of the world is going through the same thing,
Yeah,
isolation in the house, and reading the same news that is coming out. That's, people are looking at the YouTube, people are looking at like Instagram, chat groups, and all these things are going on, and there's a lot of fear that's permeating to the world community. And the
yeah.
news that's coming out from South America, Brazil, Mexico.
Let me
Um,
let me give you
yeah,
let me stop you right there for 1 second,
yeah.
because technically speaking, Mexico is part of North America.
Oh, okay.
Geographically, it's just let me tell you why I have to make this little point here. South
Thank you.
America is something like completely far away from us, even though it's the
Okay.
same continent. Central America is a
Okay,
connection
Central
of,
America.
yes,
Okay.
Central America, South America. Oh my
Okay.
God, there's some cases
So
that you
totally
really have
different
to take
world.
care of.
Okay, all right. So
It's
South
just
America, let me correct that. Apologies. Tell us about these news that is coming out, not only from like Central America, Mexico, Brazil, and it's coming out from Italy, China, and the world is just like in lockdown. And what happens when you lock down when you're like at home?
yeah,
You
of
look at
course.
your phone.
That's the only thing you have. I mean, you have
And
your
that's the news
probably you
that you
have your
get.
laptop,
It's
probably you have the
like,
cell phone right here, and you're like,
oh my
okay.
God, it's
uh,
like,
Let me tell you
so
something.
yeah,
Let me tell you something about the Mexican people.
yeah,
There is a moment when we are saying, well, this thing is not going away anytime soon.
yeah,
That is for sure. I mean,
yeah.
we know it. We have to learn how to live with it.
Mm,
That's one of the things that we have done probably, I would say, since July, August, when we realized this is not a 3 or 4 months thing. This is something a lot bigger. You know,
mm,
especially because one of the biggest concerns that in my country was the economical part. There's a lot of people that says, dude, I have to work, I have to do something. What the hell's going on? What can I do? You know, like, oh my God, My job is to go to the market to put up my groceries there and to sell vegetables. And I have to get in touch with the suppliers of the vegetables, you know, the farmers. And I have to call them. Hey, guess what? We're gonna have low sales in this month because
Mm.
people is not coming to the markets. The markets are closed. There's a way that we have learned how to live with it. You know, internet has become a major source here. Social media has helped to re-establish a lot of local businesses,
Business.
especially the small ones.
Yeah.
Because okay, instead of you going to the market or you going to the shop or whatever, just send me a text, send me a message on Facebook, send me a message on Instagram, on
Yeah.
Twitter, YouTube,
Yeah.
whatever you have,
Yeah.
and we're gonna give it to you. We're gonna
Yeah.
make some protocols so you don't have to even touch me.
Yeah.
The whole
Protocols.
thing
Yeah.
is gonna be sanitized. We have to do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Here in Mexico, we have to learn how to move it because we cannot let COVID stop us. You
And
know?
also because the Mexicans are people who are very reactive, they react very fast. How long did it take the people like you to kind of like um, change to this new pandemic life? That number one, lockdown, number two, going to the internet, and number three, like getting used to like the whole world has turned this other way. How long did
Yeah.
it take the people, and you know the lockdown situation? How long did it take the people?
Probably, I believe. Uh, let's say the lockdown here in Mexico started in March, April, May, June, probably between July and August. Yeah, sometime around it. Because yes, let's say it caught us off guard, very big. I mean, we never see it coming this way. We know there was something going on, but we never thought it was gonna be that hard in the beginning. Nowadays, we have learned how to live with coronavirus. You know, we know it is out there,
Yeah.
but we cannot stay on a complete lockdown. Sometimes I have to go to the supermarket. What I do is basically using one of these apps, you know, Uber, Didi, and all what any of those. Take me to the supermarket. It's only what, like $1.50 cost around. So I go to the supermarket, I buy my things. When I go to the supermarket, they tell you don't wear a mask, you don't come in. No, it's just that, no, no, no. I said, you don't wear a mask, you don't come in. What part you don't get? Yes, we have to establish this kind of
Yeah.
boundaries. We have
Yeah.
to establish this kind of rules
Yeah.
so we can continue doing our things. You
Yeah.
know, the lines on the ATMs, you know, when you go to the bank, 2 meters away. They told us 2 meters away. Okay, 2 meters away. You kind of taken your distance 2 meters away. The other person 2 meters away. The queues look a little longer, but it's just the distance, you know. But
Can I
we are
ask,
still doing our things.
are there people still in denial that they say, why are you so paranoid about this? Are there
Well,
another group of people?
I would say that it's not like in denial. I would
Yeah.
say like, okay, it's just another way we see it. If everybody else is doing it, I'm not gonna be the guy that is gonna disrupt, especially because it is an emergency. And we know I am not going to convince the whole country to say, nah, it's just fake news. It doesn't exist. It's just the government telling you lies. First of all, why would a government create something to create an economical chaos? Doesn't make any sense. You
And
see?
it's the whole
And
world,
that's
right?
that's the logic of it, dude. If the
Yeah.
government is telling us to stop, it's because something happened. Think about it for a second, right? And there's a lot of cases. And the worst part, you hear on social media, a bunch of friends from college, high school, work, whatever you want. COVID took my dad. COVID took my mom.
Yeah.
COVID took my daughter. COVID took my brother, my grandma, my friends. You hear about these cases that were close to the COVID. You cannot say it's just fake news. You just can't. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Have
would
you
be
any
inhuman.
personal, you know of any personal or maybe a distant friend that actually was hit by it?
I remember a couple of friends from high school. Javo, un saludo, hermano. Um, abrazo, hermano. Hugs to you, baby. Um, he told us about his dad. And the worst part is that his dad came into the hospital 2 weeks later. he came out in a box of ashes.
Oh my God.
Because if a person dies of COVID here in Mexico, they just incinerate the person. They cannot take
Immediately.
the risk. Yes, immediately. No questions
Oh.
asked. It's just a protocol that the government established. Because if they get the body, for the funeral services and stuff, there was an
Mm.
even bigger risk of
Yeah.
massive spread of the disease. So they said, unfortunately, son, your father is not evolving, is not progressing. A week later, he died, unfortunately.
Were
Uh,
they allowed to visit him, or was it too
there
risky?
was like 2 meters of distance. As far as he told us, I am not so sure, but he told us that we were able to see him with a cell phone,
Oh,
and that's it.
yeah.
There
So
was no chance to
yeah,
actually see if
it
he
is
was
as
here.
real as that. It is as real as that. That
Yes,
how is the
that's the hard part.
situation? How is the situation now?
I believe it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more quiet. Not because we said, okay, it's nothing going on. We understand that there's a lot of things to do. There's
Yeah,
a lot of things to say.
yeah,
There's a lot of work to do here in my country, right?
yeah,
But we said it, like I told you,
yeah,
we cannot let COVID-19 stop us from doing our things.
yeah,
We just
yeah,
can't.
yeah. And also because outside of the Mexico City, the population it's not so dense, right? People have natural social distancing. So
Yeah,
the numbers is not uniform throughout the whole country. I mean, such a huge country. You're only talking about a certain parts of the country, right? The other parts of the country is okay, right?
not exactly.
No,
I
not
have a
exactly.
I have an uncle that lives in Guadalajara. It's another city of Mexico, one of the
Yeah,
biggest cities in the country.
yeah,
Okay, they have similar situation. The big cities in my country are the ones that are having the biggest problem because, well, they are biggest cities. You know,
yeah,
uh, in Guadalajara, I heard that the governor of the city, no, the governor of the state of Jalisco,
yeah.
immediately ordered complete lockdown of the state. Only if it is completely necessary, you're able to leave and you're able to get in.
You mean
And if you can't,
even now? You mean even today?
yes, yes,
Wow.
it has a huge impact on economy. That's why we had to focus on local economy. You
Can I
know,
ask? Can I ask about people's mind? I mean, in a very prolonged period of time, like those cities whereby they are so restricted. What happens to their mind?
basically, we are a very resistant people. We take a lot of big shots. We take a lot of crap on us. It's like the Rocky Balboa movie. It's not about all the punches that you receive.
Yeah, and
It's
also
about the
because
punches that you get,
yeah,
and you have to
Mexico has such
continue.
a long history, right? Of a very difficult, and people are strong, and then people are hopeful and yet strong,
Yeah,
and I mean, like you, it's so amazing, right? I mean, you're going
imagine it.
through this thing, you've got such a strong history, and yet you are still so positive and like, still so much energetic and really, you're coming across through this virtual world as like as if you're here.
Let me tell you something. When the pandemic started, I
Yeah,
was waiting for two things.
yeah.
First of all, The Walking Dead or Resident Evil thing. Like I'm gonna do Resident Evil video game stuff. Okay, shooting zombies, bro. All the video games have taught me to survive. Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna use it. Or I remember. I guess you remember also The Walking Dead, the TV
The
series.
show, the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Well,
show, TV show. The
yeah,
Walking Dead is well, a little background. It's a TV series based
yeah,
on a comic book
yeah.
about zombies and a zombie apocalypse. Believe me, I was waiting for a zombie apocalypse.
Really?
Yes, but I see. Okay, it's not that bad. Ah,
Okay. So
oh, okay.
this one is just a very small version of that Walking Dead apocalypse. It's really nothing. It's like
No,
I've
of
seen
course
it on
not.
I'm seeing it all.
Yes, of course. I mean, let me tell you something. Here in
Yeah,
Mexico, we for a moment we started to have fear because we don't know where it could be.
yeah,
We still have some little resistance to say,
yeah,
okay, we can go 100%. But one of the things, and I believe this is a personal thing, and that's what
yeah,
I said to my family,
yeah,
as long as we take care of ourselves
yeah. You're
and we
taking care
take
of
care of
them.
the guy next to us, we can continue doing our things. A lot of gold material. You have a lot of material here.
You know, Miguel.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to share with us probably the final part because we have been speaking about 1 hour, 50 minutes, and you have gone pa pa pa. You are so fast, and I really enjoy your momentum. That's why I think you're going to be really successful for your podcast.
Oh,
You
thanks
know,
to you. And if I can
yeah.
help your
No,
podcast too, it's a pleasure.
before our video ends, tell us more about your podcast. Okay,
Okay.
tell me about now the community has kind of like cooled down, right? The tension has kind of like gone down. The temperature of the environment has kind of like cooled down, right? People were
A
not
little bit.
so fearful and so anxious. I want to know, is there any what do you foresee with your eyes the next 3 to 6 months? I mean, it's really hard for people to plan, right? Because people really don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, of course.
We're all waiting for a vaccine, but not everyone believes in a vaccine. But let's not talk about the vaccine. Just talk about yourself. What do you see the next 3 to 6 months for yourself, for your community, the country? Where do you see this is going to go?
I believe it depends a lot on the people. I believe
Mm,
that there's a lot of people that we can call it fearless in my country, not because they don't believe there is a disease, but
yeah.
they don't see it with the seriousness that it has.
You don't see that
But
this is the end of the world.
yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, it happened before. It happened with the Spanish flu 100 years ago. It's not
Yeah,
new for the world. We're
yeah.
gonna adapt, we're gonna survive, and we're gonna learn from this.
Mm,
That's the thing that I see. In the next 6 months, honestly, I still think we're gonna be in a lockdown in the next 6 months, probably more. But the world, I truly believe, and people that is listening to me, we have to learn how to live with this because we cannot let it stop us.
I
Okay,
want to
and
ask
we
you, you say
mhm,
probably more. What made you say
probably,
so?
if you if you believe my very personal opinion,
Yes.
I believe it's gonna take more than 6 months.
Why? What are the indications in your mind? You're from your personal take, personal opinion.
First of all, here in my country, I believe it's because the government still needs to reach any kind of vaccine. Whatever laboratory provides it, we don't care. Honestly, if you get a vaccine, that means that we can continue with our lives.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because you now have to keep some other precautions. Like, for example, when you go out to the street, you go out with your cell phone, you go out with your purse or your wallet, and now you have to carry a mask, hand sanitizer, and you're good to go.
Mm,
Simple as that. All right,
mm,
because we know, or we are more aware of how we have to take care of ourselves, you know,
mm.
and believe me, just like we said it in the beginning, if this doesn't make us learn,
Yeah.
nothing will. Probably a real apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Okay, tell me because I like the thing that you say about okay the apocalypse, the Walking Dead, and all this. How in your vision, the things that you have read, the things that you believe. How do you think in your mind, in your personal mind, an apocalypse look like?
For me,
Yeah,
the real apocalypse is about people
yeah,
be like wild animals trying
yeah,
to survive, and the strongest one is going to survive.
yeah,
That's how I see apocalypse, because you don't need zombies. That is sci-fi. I understand that
yeah,
it's just sci-fi. It's not going to happen.
yeah.
But I believe a real apocalypse is the people. having a massive fear in their lives, so big
Yeah.
that they're desperate,
Paralyzed.
able, and willing to do whatever it takes to survive. It doesn't matter if it's taking the other people's lives. I don't think
I
we're gonna reach
see.
that point. I
Okay.
honestly don't think that. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
But a real apocalypse for me is people killing each other. I hopefully believe it's just in something that I read. It's just imagination. I believe I believe more in people's willing to do the right thing for their community,
Yeah.
people doing the right thing for their families, and just continue with the things. COVID is like a punch in the face for the world,
What's your
but a punch in the face
interpretation?
with
Yeah, now
equally.
that you're saying there's a punch in the face, I want you to interpret, because you are a very learned person. You've got your own thinking, your own mind.
Thank you.
I like that. I want you to interpret why COVID for humanity at this time. Interpret it.
I believe we have been in worse situations. World War II, World War One,
Mm,
the fall of the Roman Empire. Millions of people died there for other reasons,
mm,
but we were able to survive. For
yeah,
example, the 9/11 massacres all over the world. I believe that is the lowest peak of of humanity.
yeah,
But I also believe that humanity has the other side. You
yeah.
know, I believe COVID is like, for example, a punch in the face, or when you trip and you fall on the floor. You're gonna get up, you're gonna shake it off,
Tell
and you're
me,
gonna continue.
um, you have your own faith. What? And I think majority of Mexicans are Catholics. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is correct.
Tell me your interpretation of how whatever way you're being influenced. Tell the world. And I am very intrigued because you as a person, I really want to hear from you. What's your interpretation? Even it could be from your faith. Even it could be from the movies or from the books or whatever. I mean, tell me, you must have been influenced a lot by your faith, right? Tell me why this happened from your faith point of view.
If you ask for a faithful point of view,
Yeah.
I am part of the 5% of the population in Mexico that is not Catholic. The other
Okay.
95% is Catholic or
So
has a
you're
Christian
5%,
orientation.
not
Yes, I am
okay.
part of the 5% that doesn't believe. But well,
Okay.
what I see from my friends, family that believe
Yeah.
in God and they're
Yeah.
Catholics is like, okay, it's just a test of God. Well, not a
A
test of
test.
God. It's something like he said, okay, whoops, I dropped a disease. Good luck with it, guys. And we're like, you son of a bitch. Come on, man. You could have done something better than that. And he's like, whoops. Sorry for that.
I like that. I like that. What about your
And
own interpretation? You fall in the 5%. Tell me, yeah, besides the movies, the apocalypse and everything, tell me what's your other take on it? What's your other kind of influences that you have?
I believe the most influential part that I have is just the experience that we have as a Mexican society. We have, throughout Mexico history, since the 16th century,
Mm,
we have been invaded. We have been conquered.
mm,
Our independence is not something that we can say 100% independence
mm,
in a certain philosophical way.
mm.
We have been invaded by France,
Yeah,
England, or
yeah,
the Great Britain, Spain,
yeah.
the United States. Yes, they beat us really hard, really, really hard, but we have survived and we are continuing with our lives. For me, COVID is just another thing that happened to the country. We will learn from it and we will continue with our lives. That's it.
Okay, great. I enjoyed so much with you. So that was your final take on
Yeah.
the pandemic situation. I really like having you on the show, having you
Thank
in
you.
talk about life, and I hope that we can do more of this again, if you like.
Me too. Of course, of
Um,
course. Yes,
yeah,
maybe the timetables or the sound differences is gonna be just a little issue, but don't
but
worry, I can make a little extra time.
we'll find a way of adjustment because now it's 12 a.m. Singapore
Well,
time. No, but I really enjoy and I treasure the very precious interactions that any guest like yourself coming on that I have not met before. But we are having such an open, honest, heartfelt conversation that's from the deep
thank you.
part of our soul. And you have been really honest in telling us and the world, sharing with the world what you think, what you feel, and some of the things that you gather, the information that is, to me, it's invaluable. I would want to spend 1 hour, 2 hours with you than watching on CNN, than watching on the news.
We need a cup of coffee
Watch
for that.
that.
We need a coffee for that. Coffee, cookies,
Yeah,
and
because we're talking about real
yeah,
news here. This is
yes, of
real
course.
news. Yeah, this is from us. It's not filtered. It's
Exactly.
not
I
meant.
mean,
Yeah.
we don't have any censorship or we don't have any government officer telling us, hey, don't say this, or hey, be careful with this information. People might not get it, or people can be scared. Just be careful. No, we don't have any of that. No, hell no.
Not in Mexico.
At least
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I would
All right.
like to invite you again and thank you for this cross-Pacific global friendship that we find between humanity of myself and you from
Thank you.
Mexico to Singapore. And my wishes are for your safety and for like every day I pray to God that God restore normalcy to the world, to all nations and to mankind, and that hopefully people wake up to whatever lessons that is being taught, whatever lessons that you have realized in your head.
Thank you.
It could be as basic as mending a relationship in the
It
family.
is.
It could
And it
be
is. I mean, we're a big family. We're just a big 6
yeah.
billion people family. We
6
have to take
billion.
care of each other.
Thank you so much. And Singapore
Oh,
is
thanks to
waiting
you.
for you to welcome
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, back. So you know
Oh,
what?
thanks to you.
We're gonna take this conversation again. We will
Of course.
continue the conversation. I'd like you to be one of my frequent guests on the show. You
Be
are
more than
just
happy to do it. I'll be
fantastic.
more than happy. All right. I'm
Yeah.
the happiest man in the world. All right.
Thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
so much for this opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity, people from Singapore. This is Miguel from Mexico City. Hey, be strong, baby.
Yay! And now for Miguel, let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's 12:02 now here in Singapore
Oh my
on
God.
12th of November. And anyone who's tuning in tomorrow, when this is uploaded, or 1 year later, 2021, 2022, or 5 years later, 10 years later, the history is already being captured.
Exactly.
So yeah, we formed the news of today. So thank you once again, Miguel, and please have safety for your country. And it's my hope and my wish that your country, the people of Mexico, and all of us will emerge this to be better human being, better governments, more enlightened individuals and more sensitive and much more helpful person, and people who are really a transformed human being. I think if anything, my word is let the people who passed off, let they not die in vain. And I always think that whatever we are doing right now, be it social distancing or keeping ourselves safe, hygiene, isolation, we are really just doing a very little part to do our part and not giving any trouble to the medical people in the hospital, right? To alleviate their burden. People are and they are still doing that. They're still fighting on in the hospitals. There are second wave in Europe, and numbers are rising in America, etc. Governments are fighting.
Yeah,
The police are fighting.
and the numbers are going back again, but like I said, it really takes all of us. And
It
I
takes
believe
all of
that
us.
it's just a thing that, okay,
It takes all
it's
of
gonna
us.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We will have a second massive wave. We have to be able to resist. We have to be able to control it. But I am pretty sure that we're gonna make it. All right. It's just stay positive. Take care of each other. It takes all of us. It really takes all of us. And be strong. We're strong. You're strong. Everybody's strong.
Thank you so much for that last word of positive energy. We all can make it if we all are strong. We stay safe and we do the right thing. Thank you so much,
Exactly.
Miguel.
Thank you, Miguel. It's
look
a real
forward
pleasure.
to you, and I'm going to invite you at the end of the month again to be on Talk About Life, and we're going to see you again.
We will. It's going to be a real pleasure. Thank you.
The world is going to hear from you. Thank you so much, Miguel.
Thanks so much for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
All the best. Bye.